net connectivity is a problem, madam.
No. He has come inside the room.
Oh, then it's okay.
Yeah, yes. No, your voice is not audible, sir. Your voice is not audible.
Probably he should mute.
No, he's not in mute also.
Madam, I think the meeting. I think the meeting is now it is in the live.
Agila ma'am, program is live, ma'am. You can start.
Okay.
Streaming it,
Brinda, please start.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology, I welcome you all to this pre-event panel discussion on sustainability of natural resources. Before we begin the pre-event, KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology wishes everyone a very happy Independence Day. I think no other day is more appropriate to discuss such a significant topic, sustainability of natural resources. At this juncture, I welcome our moderator, Dr. M. Akila, Principal, KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology, Coimbatore, and the Organizing Secretary of IGEN, Nobel Laureate Lecture Series. I take this opportunity to welcome all the panelists. We have amidst us a strong panel of 9 members. To start with, let me introduce Dr. C. Ramasamy sir, former Vice Chancellor, Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore, Dr. M. V. Rangaswamy, former Director, WTC TNAU Coimbatore, and D. Agri-Engineering, Savitha Engineering College, Chennai. I welcome Dr. R. Ashokan sir, Principal, Konkanadu College of Engineering and Technology, Trichy, Dr. Mohammed Ramzan, Vice Principal and Head Mechanical Department, MMANTC, Maharashtra. I also welcome Dr. P. Ganesh Kumar sir, Professor of IT Department, KLM College of Engineering, Madurai. Dr. P. Devasenapati sir, retired Professor and Head Department of Agronomy, Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore. I welcome Dr. S. Santanabose sir, former Dean TNAU Agricultural University, Professor and Head Department of Agricultural Engineering, RVS Technical Campus, Coimbatore. Mr. K. Kalidasan sir, President, OSA Environmental Organization, Coimbatore. And I also welcome Dr. G. Ranganathan sir, Principal, Adiyaman College of Engineering, Hosur. KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology and IGEN welcomes all the panelists for the discussion on sustainability of natural resources. To talk about IGEN, the Institution of Green Engineers, is a non-profit society serving as a catalyst to connect all the professionals for building a green world. The objective of IGEN is to provide sustainable environmental solutions to achieve a green world. It also strives to influence the global engineering community to adopt green engineering practices in their design, product, processes, and systems. IGEN has organized conferences, namely Energython 2020, Environthon 2020, Innovation with Young Green Innovators Army, IGEN SDG projects, and so on. One of the most significant activities of IGEN is the Nobel Laureate Lecture Series. And the first Nobel Laureate Lecture Series is on sustainable agriculture. May I now invite our moderator, Dr. M. Akila ma'am, KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology, to brief about the Nobel Laureate Lecture Series. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Brinda, for a wonderful welcome note on this panel discussion on sustainability of natural resources. This IGEN Nobel Laureate Lecture Series, as rightly pointed out by Brinda, is the first event is on August 25th, 2020. And Sir Richard Roberts, who is the Nobel Laureate who got his Nobel Prize in the year 1993, and he is going to give a wonderful lecture on August 25th. So we thought that why can't we have a pre-event of such a major event on sustainability, so that we can have a local discussion on how things are going in our country or in our state or across India. So that's why we have today this panel discussion with great members of the society who are responsible for bringing sustainability inside our organization and the society. So now I request our colleagues to have a short video on IGEN and IGEN Nobel Laureate Lecture Series. So we have a panel of members with, I think Brinda has already. And I think Sumitra madam, are you in the process?
I think audio is not coming, madam.
Audio is not coming.
No, madam, in the Zoom setting, left-hand side, you can take the mic part there. If you click, you will have a button is that from the computer system. We have to take the audio from our computer systems.
Hello, I'm Ashok Bhagwat, and I'm a professor at Wayne State University in the United States. I had the pleasure of working with Rich Roberts for 5 years at the Cold Spring Harbor Lab. I said working with rather than working for, because Rich encouraged development of ideas together and helped my personal growth as a scientist. Rich has been a pioneer in many fields, the discovery of introns in the eukaryotic genes being his most obvious contribution. In addition, he championed the use of computers in biology and is the undisputed authority on restriction modification enzymes. Rich has a quicksilver mind and an amazing range of interests. He thinks deeply about science, of course, but also about human rights and how to promote growth in underdeveloped nations. Today's talk is a testament to his broad intellect. Enjoy.
Thank you, Sumitra ma'am, for a wonderful video, and I thank Sir Richard Roberts Friend for having such a great introduction about our Nobel laureate. And with this in mind, in Nobel laureate lecture series, we have gone for online competitions for all ages. To start with Artistic Challenge, Talent Hunt, Creative Pitch Deck, and Snap and Share, which is available in our website. And it's going on great, and I want all the viewers who are in YouTube now can take up in the competitions which is being held by IGEN Nobel Laureate Lectures. So why this sustainable agriculture and all these about our natural resources? So these natural resources are the resources that exist naturally without any human intervention. These can be renewable, that are easily replenished, and non-renewable, that cannot be replenished. So resources determine the economy of an area. With judicious utilization of these resources, a country can sustain the resources for future generations. However, looking at the current situations, the indiscriminate use of our modern resources are such that the possibilities of succeeding generations and the developing countries to have access to their fair share is very rare. Furthermore, the consequences are dreadful, and the result on the environment will induce severe damages which go beyond the carrying capacity of the environment. Resources are the backbone of every economy, and it includes India also. So in using these resources and transforming them, we need a lot more to be done. So this panel discussion is going to talk about natural resources like air and climate, energy, water, biodiversity, land, forests, and ecosystems. So let me put across the first question about how to take about this sustainable agriculture. It's a great question, and I hope that the first question can be answered by Ranganath. Sir, can you give a limelight on this sustainable agriculture?
Yes, madam. Good morning to all of you. I am very happy to greet all of you. Happy Independence Day. And country is celebrating 74th birthday of independence in the country. And let me thank Dr. Akila, who has taken a lot of initiation as well as responsibility in conducting this type of wonderful program of Institute of Green Engineers under the label, and especially for sustainability of natural resources. And on 25th, we're going to have a talk on the Nobel literature on sustainable agriculture. So today in the panel, there are vice chancellors, there are directors and deans, those who worked in agriculture university, those who are having a vast experience, and some of my academic colleagues, those who are working at the principals and other academic heads in various sources. So we are going to have a discussion today. And now we're taking sustainable in agriculture. Every individual, they know, wherever we are living in the world, whatever technology we're having in our hand, whatever technology we're going to use to develop, unless otherwise agriculture is going to sustain in the globe, fellow human cannot live any day comfortably. Because whatever we consume from the day morning to day evening, we are supposed to take food in a sense that has to come from the agriculture. But today, we are seeing a lot of articles in the news, maybe print media, electronic media, maybe different parts of the state or different parts of the country. Some areas, agriculture are the farmers to be called. They're having their own tough time. They're expressing some other difficulties as well. Pathetically, some of the farmers are even going for suicide. It is very painful being we are in 21st century. One side we are telling our agricultural production is multiple times increased. No shortage of food grains. All this is developed. But still one side it is there. Why? What is the reason? Because there are agricultural scientists there, those who worked in NAU, they will also probably endorse me. Otherwise, sometimes they may say, even I may be having little deviations. Farmers needs a very simple formula. First, they should have a confidence in what they are doing. They want the facilities for the purpose what they are doing. Many state governments, many union governments, many people, they are giving a lot of subsidies by encouraging the farmers. I don't believe that farmers are depending on subsidies. Plainly, I will tell in a simple way. Being I am also born in the family of farmer, though I am today sitting as a principal of engineering college and got an opportunity to join with this panel discussion because of Akila Madam. Farmers actually needs two things. One is water supply, properly to do the farming. Because if they're going to depend on the water supply of rain, natural resources which is going to come, maximum they can do the croppings in only one particular season. That too, uncertainty. When crop is there, rain will not come, or more rains are there to destroy the crop, or uneven rains. So this natural resource of rains is an uncertainty for the farmers. So they need a water supply properly to go for irrigations. Second, while doing this, they need a proper seedling. Seeds is supposed to get a quality seeds coming through industry for that particular zone. They're supposed to supply proper seeds. Second, again, pesticides, quality pesticides. Unless farmers are going to have quality pesticides, it is very difficult to safeguard the crop from the diseases, whatever they are getting through various other sources, which you cannot have. It needs elaborate discussion, but I'll give in a smaller way only. Then third, after getting this product, once if everything is over, marketing, and where the price is a big question mark. So because of this uncertainty only, many farmers, they're having their own problems and they're closing their farming. They started migrating.
Sir, Ranganath sir, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Sumitra madam, unmute Ranganath sir. Yes, sir. Please continue, sir.
Can you listen, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So farmers, I told you, they're having interest in doing the farming, but what they want is proper facilities. One is proper facilities, one is water. They cannot depend on rains alone. Natural rains or rains alone, they are going to depend. They can produce only a certain crops in maybe a dry lands, not in a wetlands. Because wetlands irrigation is required a different water system. One is water sites. So the government or central government or state government, they should see that the water is going to be properly available to all the farmers so that they will not have. Second, while doing farming, they need a proper seeds. So there's a lot of farmers while doing the farming, they're having their own problems. They're getting the seeds which is not having a proper quality. They're not knowing till the crop is there, maybe about it is about 20% or 30% of the duration is over. Till then, they're not knowing the quality seed was not up to the mark and it is bad. By the time, if you're taking about 90 days a crop, they will be knowing the values only after 30 days, 35 days, which is the crop's condition. Second, after getting the crop, they want proper pesticides. Why I'm telling this? I am also coming from the farming sector. We are having the farmlands. My parents are the farmers. My grandparents are the farmers. And many of your parents and grandparents are farmers only. I believe in strong belief. So pesticides, again, lot of crops are having lot of different peculiar diseases nowadays. But they are spending a lot of money on pesticides. But pesticides, again, the quality is not up to the mark. Though they're spending money, they're not getting proper results. Second. Third, after getting the product, farmers are having a lot of suffocation in getting the right price for their right crop. Maybe marketing place is not proper, or storage facility is not proper, or middleman is having an advantage taking these farmers in other way, etc., etc. Reasons are good number of reasons are there. So because of these reasons only, many farmers are having their own fear of continuing the farming, and their generation, next generations, they started migrating from rural places to urban places for want of a small job, for want of maybe a small business, etc., etc. If this is going to continue, it is very difficult for us to say agriculture is going to be sustained. And every individual today needs agriculture farmers to live.
Okay.
If you take Sikkim has made it mark as an organic state. It is one of the happiest news by every individual today, the country of today, India. Sikkim has become a model state in getting organic farming. Similarly, Ladakh is the one which is going to be a natural zone, carbon natural zone. They are going to announce. But at the same time, we take Punjab and Haryana, they're having a lot of problems after crop is over, even to burn their wastage. We have seen a lot of articles earlier because of the burning of these crops, a wastage of the crops is giving a lot of pollution for Delhi, a lot of pollution for Uttar Pradesh. We have read the articles. All these things we are coming across through only articles of the print media, electronic media. Why there is no proper mechanism for proper to these farmers to help how to take this wastage from the farmland after crop is over, how to take this wastage of the crop, how to convert it to the manure. Some mechanism we have to develop as engineers, and we have to help the farmers. Otherwise, again, that farming sector also is going to have their own impact. To reduce the pollution, even today in the President of India, they have given in the independence speech, holistic approach is underway to reduce the pollution nearly 100 cities in the country. See, the pollution is other sides. This talk came only with reference to Punjab and Haryana because they had a suffocation in Delhi. But I'm having strong belief that 21st century, our policies, our process, and our products, everything should be the best in retaining our natural resources and developing and promoting agricultural sustainability by giving a promise, a full confidence that rightly they are going to get a right price for the right product. I don't think unless otherwise any agency, either state or the union governments, are going to create a confidence in the farmers that they can do farming, the livelihood never be disturbed, they're going to get a right price for the right product, what they're going to produce. Maybe by creating a proper guidance, a proper storage facilities, proper marketing yards, etc., etc., etc. This is my small view in a few minutes of 2-3 minutes because we cannot take more time. A good number of panels are there, and my strong appeal come for Rangasamy sir and Bo sir and our chancellor, and they will not take any negative way. Whatever I express my views only. Being a son of the farmer, not as a principal of the Adiyam College of Engineering. Son of a farmer, I am expressing the difficulties of the farmer, what we are facing on the field. Second thing, madam, you are talking on industrializations, how the farming is getting disturbance. If you take in our own district of Krishnagiri district, there's a good number of industries takes place in the name of quarries, crushers, and all these materials to drag from the natural resources. Almost all every crusher if you take, every crusher unit if you take, 5 to 10 kilometers radius, no farmer can do any farming because of dust pollution. I don't know how this pollution control board is going to give NOC for them, how they're going to be controlled. There is no proper mechanism in all these crushing units. See, exactly we need a material for construction activities, no doubt in that. They should extract a work, no doubt in that. I'm not opposing this crushing units, maybe quarries, maybe other granite industries, but especially the dust pollution disturbing the farmers in getting their crops is totally unacceptable. No crushing unit is having any mechanism of controlling the pollution, due to which 5 to 10 kilometers radius depends upon their operational cost. No one, including the elderly plants, if you take in mango plantation, which is about 10 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old, we are sufferers. I am sufferers individually. Will not get even one mango properly. When flowers are coming, entire flowers are going to be dried because of this dust. Okay, this is what I can throw for this panel discussion.
Yeah.
Certainly today, we are supposed to, beyond the technology's growth, unless otherwise the technology go to the farmers, where they're going to have some advantages in doing the farming by encouraging way, by motivating way, we cannot say this agriculture is going to be sustainable. That's what my views. So
Yeah. Thank you, Ranganath sir, for giving a wonderful insight on sustainable agriculture and the current scenario in your Krishnagiri place, and you have pointed out 3-4 points which will be definitely useful for the session. And I think, as you said, you're busy in your schedule now. We thank Ranganath sir for his wonderful insights. Thank you so much, sir. We'll meet again.
Let me
Yes,
thank
sir.
all of you.
Thank you.
I'm going to enjoy your speech through YouTube, sir. Excuse me, I'm
Yes,
leaving
sir.
to attend some other
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
So
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Nice
Sir,
having-
yes, sir.
Good
Yes,
day to
sir.
all of you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye
And Devasenadipati sir, can you add upon what Ranganath sir has told about sustainability sustainable agriculture, and he has said that proper seedling, quality pesticides, and regular water supply. So can you say something on that?
Very good morning and warm greetings and wishes to all of you for the Independence Day. And thanks to the KPR Institute of Education, Engineering and Technology for these wonderful arrangements. And more than me, if my former Vice Chancellor, our teacher, Professor Dr. CR is already joined, he will be more information, because things more focused by the principal is on the policy side, not on the technology side. So policy side, I think more than me, probably when he joins later also, he will clarify some of the things. And Professor was talking about the sustainable agriculture. And more than he focused on the profitable agriculture. Agriculture is profitable or not. That's what mainly he focused. Sustainable agriculture is one. If you develop some of the technologies, it has the ability to maintain it at a different, at a same level for some period. That's what sustainable agriculture. And once we change that one, and once we don't follow it with 100% with its full objectives, then definitely we'll be losing that one. So sustainable agriculture is something different, and profitable agriculture is another one. It is market oriented, and even sustainable agriculture can also be turned to a profitable agriculture, provide we have some of the mindset to do agriculture, to do the practices in line with the marketing needs. So this is my first view, and let's discuss something further.
Okay, thank you, sir. Rangasamy sir, will you put some lights on what Ranganath sir and Devasenadipati sir has given you?
Madam, let me put one important point. I would like to address it.
Ganesh Kumar sir.
Yes. As our Adiman College principal, sir, whatever he has pointed out, the technology has to support. So in this point, I would like to mention one important point is that even I too also collaborated with our Tamil Nadu Agriculture University in Madurai. So where my research scholar, he was very passionate about the wireless sensor network. In that, what I said is, why can't we apply this technology to our agriculture so that the agriculture farmers can get some benefited out of it? So that what we have done it, we have approached our Tamil Nadu Agriculture University in Madurai branch, where the agronomy professor, his name was Dr. Guruswamy. So I think other agriculture university professors may know him very well. So we have collaborated with them, and even the agriculture university has allotted for us for almost half an acre of land, out of which we have done a cultivation for almost, we have done a cultivation for a 10 months of period. Half a 1/4 of acre of lands we have done it as a conventional, and another 1/4 of acres of land we have done it with our smart fertication unit. So this was very wonderfully, it has come down. And finally, our results, which was revealing that it is a 70% of water can be saved. So that immediately we gone for filing a patent, and also we have filed a patent. So the thing is that even our technology is also moving towards to helping our farmers. So just I want to add up that point.
Okay, thank you, Ganesh Kumar sir.
Yeah.
Rangasamy sir, please. Sumitra madam, can you please unmute Rangasamy sir? Rangasamy sir, yes, please, Rangasamy sir, please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean sustainability of agriculture. So see, agriculture means land, water, and other inputs. These are the major thing. I mean resources needed for agriculture. And as you all know, see the over the years, the sustainability of agriculture has assumed more importance. The reason being, now see because of this greenhouse effect and other industrial activities, what happens? See, the atmospheric temperature has risen, so you have got this global warming phenomenon, and this global warming phenomenon led to the climate change. And now, suppose if you see the observed records, so I would say I will focus more on the water resources. Leaving the other resources to, other topics to be dealt with our other panelists. So here, because of this climate change, what happens? See the wide-ranging, consequences on our hydrological cycle. So because of that, large-scale changes have occurred. So large-scale, changes have occurred in the in the rainfall pattern, in the wind pattern, and again the runoff pattern in rivers. And our most of our climatological studies have focused, have come out with an interesting findings that the higher latitude countries, the rainfall will be more, whereas in the mid latitude countries rainfall will be less. So all these things, see the precipitation intensity also is going to vary, and naturally the floods will be caused, and floods and droughts will be a common phenomenon nowadays. We can see a great change in the rainfall pattern in the different states of India. So the extreme events are happening. So this has become almost a common phenomenon in our things. Then naturally the water supplies will be water stored in the glaciers will be less. So naturally what will happen? So this will drive the flow of our perennial rivers like our Ganga and Brahmaputra. In course of time, the highly unpredictable nature, or otherwise the low flows will may happen at times. And the high temperature also increases the quality, affects the quality of water. So see, high temperature means naturally the water will evaporate, and thereby the salts present in the water will be will be getting concentrated. So all these things put together, so they limit the food production, they limit the access to the food, and all these things will be we will be affecting the water resources in a very big way. Particularly this affects the water resources, otherwise what we say the freshwater resources. Remember, agriculture is not, it's not the only industry or only sector depends on fresh water. So all other sectors, service sectors, industrial sectors, everything depends on these freshwater resources. And therefore, we have to very careful, and all our in course of time, all our resources that, all our structures that we built up, that is the irrigation and drainage structures, all these things may become redundant, and they need to be revamped and things like that. So this is in short, I would like to point out these points so that our water resources, particularly freshwater resources, can be conserved in a very big way.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And can I have Ramasamy sir online? Sir, Ramasamy sir.
Are you able
Yes,
to
sir.
hear? Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us. Even though it is late, you have come on time. And I hope that you can put some limelight on the discussion we had earlier on sustainable agriculture and how it is going on in Tamil Nadu, and how TNAU is fighting hard to give the best to the society.
Okay, thank you, madam. And Also, good morning to other panelists, and then also greetings for the Independence Day. I think sustainability is very important concept. Earlier, when we started up after independence, that time we were just focusing on efficiency and equity. Efficiency means efficient use of farm resources or natural resources. Subsequently, it must reach to all sections of the population. Then later came, particularly in the past 3 decades, sustainability has become very important one. So most of the scientists across the sectors, they started working to improve the efficiency in all sectors. Particularly in the case of natural resources, it becomes very important. I think there is also some kind of ignorance about the sustainability, because sustainability started from early 1950s. Because that time we were having all rivers not controlled, they're flooding the country, and then we had the the water shortages in some part of the country. So it is a Nehruvian vision who started building major dams like Damodar Valley Project, Bagranangal. So in Tamil Nadu, under the chief ministership of Sri Kamraj, we have built almost entire state, several dams, and even early 60s, by early 70s we are using 90% of the surface water in the state of Tamil Nadu. In the sense, these were all invested, and in a way they are all sustainable, because in early 60s we had the food shortage. There was food available from ship to mouth. We are importing food grains from US and under PL 480 program. So that is where once we have created water resources through dams, major medium projects, then we had the high yielding varieties that time. The late 60s, we have high yielding wheat, rice from International Rice Research Institute, wheat from Mexico, and so on. The Indian scientists started, starting with several agricultural universities in those days. So we brought out varieties using those germplasms from other countries. Then we were able to overcome this food shortage. So people nowadays, criticize about the green revolution technologies like use of fertilizer, HIVs, pesticides, and so on. But for that, millions must have died, for want of food. What has happened, in the Bengal famine, no availability of rice. So later, actually, you cannot import food grains always for this huge country. Even in those days, by the time 70s, we had 50, 60, million, 600, 700 million population. Okay, that way it started earlier, and we started using, very effectively water resources. Of course, latter part we were kind of misusing that through over exploitation of groundwater and other so on. That is my one point. Then even under agricultural R&D, earlier supported by Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, now we have 75 state agricultural universities and then central universities. Besides Indian Council of Agriculture, it has about 60 research stations. All these institutions started working on sustainability much earlier. Say, for example, in 60s, we had these IR varieties, IR8, IR20, and so on. And then later, these Aduvarai varieties and so on, co-varieties. These were all yield increasing. In other words, with the same water, they were yielding more. That is how sustainability comes. So genetics has really contributed very much. I think Dr. Ranganath also pointed out about use of pesticides. See, for your information, the varieties, hybrids which came 60s and 70s were, high yielding. But later in 80s, 90s, we bred varieties which are resistant to pests and diseases. That way, we have brought down, the use of chemicals. Particularly, when you compare with use of chemicals in leading countries like USA, China, Japan, Canada, Australia, ours is not even 1/5 of the chemicals we are using in per acre. I mean per acre. So that way, these varieties which are tolerant to pest and diseases were developed. These were also sustainable, and then subsequently fertilizer use also. Say now we have I think Professor Rangasamy and Santana Bose, they are all experts in civil engineering. they worked much on, fertigation. Say now with, less water, you also supply fertilizers. We have implemented in Tamil Nadu Agricultural University one project called precision farming. In that, actually, they reduced the water to the extent of 40-50% in all crops like tomato or sugarcane or brinjal, and then this kind of vegetables and fruits we reduce in banana and so on. So that way water was saved, and then subsequently this intensive rice system, the system intensive rice, that means SRI they call, actually, which is the one we as a team, some of these, our agronomists, engineers here, we worked on this, SRI, and Tamil Nadu is the leading in system rice intensification. In this, only 40% of the regular water, supplied is enough for this system rice intensification. Here, the planting is made such a way that we could reduce the incidence of pests and diseases. We could improve the aeration. We could reduce the weeds and so on. So that way we actually tremendously reduce the input. And then further thing is that we also, the latter, our agronomists in the university came up with the enriched farmyard manure, and then, this earthworm processed manures and all these things, then this panjakavi, all these small technologies, it also really helped. Then besides, our plant protection sciences brought out many beneficial insects. They have identified some of the beneficial insects, which means they will be eating on the other insects which are causing damage to the plants. So that way, plant protection side also, say for example, Pseudomonas fluorescens, and then Trichoderma viridi. There are many biocontrol agents, what we call. This is also taken up by women by self-help group women across the state. It is also supplied. So that is where we have also reduced the application of pesticides or chemicals and so on. So this is one angle. Now there is also some criticism of the GM crop, genetically modified crop. I think GM is a kind of very sustainable in nature, because genetic manipulation, we are not making anything bad there. Simply rearranging the genes, we are able to breed varieties which are resistant to insects and pests, which is also resistant to drought. So these kind of things happen. Say for example, when BT cotton came, there were resistance, but now BT cotton reduced the pesticide consumption to the extent of 80%, more than 80%. Our production was 200 lakh bales. Now we are producing 340 lakh bales, exporting 60 to 70 lakh bales to China. So we have become the world leader in cotton with the same water, with same land. Only we are cultivating about 11 million hectares of cotton. Almost 98% is now BT cotton. So there are activism, there are political reasons. There are this organic group. They are also against the GM, but it is not so. Scientifically, it is harmless. It is contributing to more. Say for example, some of the technologies which are now under experiments in the Western countries, they are already implementing. One is this use of drones. Drones, it fly over the field and see whether there is a pest incidence or disease incidence, or in soils there is a depth of deficiency of phosphorus or potash. Everything can be diagnosed through drone technology. So this is upcoming, and in the future, that means once you identify some spots with some incidence of pest and disease, immediately you can take care of. Like what we are doing quarantine for the corona, we are spotting the hot spots and then controlling them. There is another technology coming up, and then we are also now the nitrogen is fixed by some of the microbes from the atmosphere. So for the pulses crops like ulundu, pachai and so on, nitrogen is fixed by the bacteria from the atmosphere, that is helping to form nodules in the roots, which is helping the soil. Now they have identified about 39,000 microbes. Now we are also trying to fix for phosphorus and potash from the atmosphere also. This is the kind of technology presently ongoing. So that way, technology is also making, every day we are coming up with technologies which are actually resource saving. That means with the same unit of resource, we are producing more, or for a given output, we are reducing the use of pesticides. So that way, agricultural R&D in India, agricultural education also have substantially contributed for sustainability over years, because people must not think that they are criticizing fertilizer application and so on. See, that time when we got independence, it was 30 crores. Now it is 140 crores. We are feeding more than 4 times the people. So again, fertilizers are not applied inappropriately or over application. It is not. So these are all some wrong information. But we are encouraging organic farming because you do not have the organic materials to cover more area. So that way, organic also we are encouraging. At the same time, efficient use of modern inputs also we are using, and that is why we have touched 296 million tons first time in the past 74 years. Mostly by the food grains. So we are also making progress in other areas also. Sustainability will be the key feature and for the future. And there are also, recently this Lancet journal, they have predicted Indian population will reach peak by about 2050 and start declining. They expect 2100 AD, the population will be about 1,000 million. This is how the people are per capita income develops, lifestyle changes, and population also will come down. For anyway, because we need water, land, everything for various sectors like industries. See, even for chip making, we need 10,000 liters of water for the computer chip making. So that way, we have to really plan and effectively use the water, land, and the technologies are also on the way to save the resources. Definitely, we have definitely made good progress. Future, it will be more and more focus will be on the sustainability. I congratulate KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology for organizing such a wonderful webinar, so that we also have share to the engineering group that what we are doing. Thank you, madam, again for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You mentioned about genetic modeling. So this is where our Nobel Laureate, Sir Richard Robert, also is having many more seminars physically previously, and after COVID-19, he is doing it in webinar, and he has many insights on this genetic modeling. If we see the internet, you can say GMO is bad, GMO is this, GMO is that. So many things we have heard. We also thought that GMO is seriously bad. So now we have come out of this thinking that you have given a very good insight on how it is the genetics are remodeled to say that pesticides is not that much needed for such genetic remodeling. So that's a great thing you have said, sir. And now I have a question for our Kalidasan sir. Kalidasan sir, we are so many environmental organizations are there. Okay, so you are giving more awareness to the society on environment, ecosystem, biodiversity, and many things. How far as an organization you are helpful to the society, and what else you as an organization need to tell society that this is what is needed and this is what is good for the society? Sir, unmute yourself, sir. Unmute yourself. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. You organized this session with eminent personalities. I congratulate you. I'll conclude with few words. The word very important, the sustainability of natural resources. That is a very big session needed, but I will conclude in a particular way. In Tamil Nadu scenario, all the water need for drinking, agriculture, and industry, most of the water need are depending rivers now. Previously, We had our drinking water from wells, lakes, that kind of water bodies. Now the supply of water to the houses only from tanks and tanks from rivers. For example, Coimbatore, Tirupur, all the western districts, depending the Bhavani river or Sirvani river, the list is very big. The same kind agriculture, for agriculture also, we are depending our water sources mostly from the rivers and the industries also. The question is, the rivers in southern India are the Western Ghats is the source for the rivers in southern India. It has a unique ecosystem. See, throughout the world, we can see the rivers are originating in mountains like Himalayas. The glaciers producing the rivers. But a unique ecosystem in Western Ghats producing our rivers sustainably. But the conservation of Western Ghats is big question. This is, see, all our southern Indian rivers, Kaveri, Vaigai, Tamarabarni, Krishna, Godavari, Malamala, Bharatapula, Sirvani, Bhavani, all are originating in a unique ecosystem called sholas and grassland ecosystem in Western Ghats, which is unique, which was protected by our ancient throughout the from long years, but now under great threat. If it is not taken for consider, definitely our water sources for all drinking agriculture industry will be affected. So conservation of Western Ghats as the recommendation of the government organized committee called Madhav Committee, the recommendation should be implemented immediately. For example, our Western all the Western districts depending the Bhavani river, Bhavani is originating in Nilgiris. When the British period, British government changes the ecosystem, natural ecosystem to tea plantation and other. That was long back. That time that was no concern on environment. But now slowly the tea plantation and vegetable plantations are slowly converted into buildings in the name of resorts, guest houses are. The first thing, the people who are living there, the soil of the son of the soils have lost their
I think his internet connectivity is not.
Or they get contaminated. So the conservation of Western Ghats is very important. That the existing water for the southern India depends Western Ghats. So conservation of Western Ghats is the timely needed importance. There is recommendation by the government committee that should be implemented. That is very important for all agriculture industry and drinking water. That is my that what the in this
yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir, OSI is an organization, is it not? So yes. How far you are able to do service to the society, or do you need support from the government for taking what your vision to the society?
See, ma'am, understanding nature is very important. Here, see, there is a big debate on development and environment. People are saying environmentalists are against development. That is not reality. This environmental science is a high value science of the development. See, for example, Coimbatore is a developed country, but now it become an industrial destination. But there is a history 100 years, 90 years ago, during 1927, there was a research report which a health inspector wrote that Coimbatore was the most affected sanitation and water condition. Coimbatore had the most affected water and sanitation. If you read the report, that was unfit to live. That was 1927. But now the scenario changes only because of during 1929 we received the Sirvani water. Sirvani water changed the status of our place. So environmental concern is the real, it is for the real development. That is what sustainable development. So our role is, the organization's role is not against development, not against science, but it needs a sustainable development. As you rightly mentioned about the use of non-renewable energy, that should be reduced, and which the fragile ecosystem like forest is a fragile ecosystem. We cannot create forest. That is that is a misconcept of afforestation. We can improve the green cover. We cannot increase the forest. Forest is an ecosystem that millions and millions of years they formed, that which we cannot create. But so we cannot destroy also. If we destroy that, our children will be they will be affected. So the existing nature, the forest ecosystem should be conserved. We cannot create, should be conserved. But unfortunately, we are thinking that the land under the forest land, only the forest, that is not good. The land outside the forest department land also have an ecosystem that also should be protected. See, considering the agriculture in our landscape, the human-animal conflict is a high level in this landscape. That is only because of the uncontrolled development in the fringes of the forest. Uncontrolled. There is no law to prevent that. These kind of what we the organization doing, we are sensitizing the community, sensitizing the policymaker, sensitizing the government towards this, because policymakers giving focus only on the so-called development. But what we need is the sustainable development. There are global models. See, if we want to protect our Noyal River or Bhavani River, there are models how the developed England saved their river Thames, which was announced biologically dead during 1952. Now that is alive. But when that was alive, biologically dead during 1952, we had our Noyal alive, we had our Kaligarayan Vaikal alive, we had our Amaravati alive, all the rivers were, even Kuvam was alive. Now Thames become alive, but our rivers have in bad condition. What is the meaning of development here? So that is a question. Okay. We are for development, but no development at what cost? That question. What we are doing is we are sensitizing this to the everyone. This is, see, if I say I am an environmentalist, that may be proud to me, but every society should be have the environmental concern. That is for our future. That's what we are doing. We the organization do.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Ashokan sir was first, and I think Ashokan sir can add to what Kalidasan sir has told. Ashokan sir, yeah, can you please unmute? And I think Ashokan sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, please.
Just these points may be previous two questions. Actually, the main aim of sustainable development is to provide resources for present generations without compromising the needs of the future generations. And also the availability of nutritious food, clean air, and water are the essential components of our healthy life. As our farmer VCs are told, the population growth and urbanization also one of the reasons for utilizing more natural resources. As in our country, 1950, the India's population is around 36 crores. Now it's currently 136 crores. The utilization is more. And also the people's lifestyle is also changing because of the high income in the developing countries as well as in the developing countries. And another one reason is urbanization. So as per United Nations data, around 54% of global population is currently living in the urban areas. So automatically transportation and foods, so all things are more required. Particularly the fossil fuels, free lands, metals, mineral resources are mostly limited. So as a result, the sustainable use of resources become mandatory for maintaining a clean environment for long time. As our VCs are told, for example, manufacturing one mobile smartphone requires 13,000 liter water is required for manufacturing one smartphone. Normally, the life of the computers and the smartphone are now limited. So computers 2 to 5 years, smartphone 2 to 3 years, like that. So automatically, if you are using more electronic goods, automatically we need more natural resources and also water. This is the point I want to add with this.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now we'll have a small break with IGEN video, a small bite. Please hold on for another few seconds.
Hi everybody, the Institute of Green Engineering is conducting its first IGEN Nobel Laureate lecture session, and the first one, the topic is on sustainable agriculture, and it is given by none other than a Nobel Laureate, Sir Richard John Roberts.
I'm so excited to attend this event online with my families and friends on August 25th, 2020. Come on, let's all join the event and learn more about sustainable agriculture.
Yeah, thank you, Sumitra ma'am, for having a small commercial break. So it's again the IGEN Nobel Laureate lecture series on August 25th. And thank you, Satish Jaykumar from Dubai, and joining with your kids in getting the promotion of IGEN Nobel Laureate lecture series. Okay, so now we have the next question. Our country is trying hard, level best for making urbanization, industrialization. But as a part of us, we are part of India, as citizens of India. Are we aware of what we are doing to this nature? So this is what the question is. I think Ganesh Kumar sir can add to this. As a technologist, what we are doing for the urbanization and industrialization, and are we people are aware of what we are doing? Because the people have told that for even a single chip they spend 10,000 gallons of water. So let me have with Ganesh Kumar first, and then I can move on to Sandana Bose sir for the next, followed by Ganesh Kumar sir. Please.
Yeah, thank you, madam. For sustainable development, to make it as a sustainable development, it requires three basic elements, as rightly pointed out by our earlier speakers. All about they are talking about how to protect our natural resources. So in terms of industrial point of view, how I'm going to coin it in some different dimensions. So three basic elements, what we can say that one is an environment, and another one is economy, and then the third one is a society. These are all the three important major components. So three important domains also we can say. So as a sustainable development point of view, we used to have a triple bottom line. So what the triple bottom line is, which is going to have a equality of both the environment, economic, as well as our society. So if it is going to have an equality, then automatically we can easily protect our natural resources, which can be used it for even for a longer period also. But in reality, in current scenario, what it is happening is the economy has been given as much more important, which has been given a major factor of consideration. And whatever the environment, which has been viewed as serving to the infrastructure to that economy, or giving some good resources, or some giving some services to that economy only. But most of the time, when we were making it as an industrialization, we don't bother about the society point. So that is where our current scenario. So now slightly we have to look into some different dimensions. So we need to look in a different way. In that way, what we have to do is environmental laws are inevitable. They are the laws of nature. They are the laws of our earth. We cannot violate those laws. If we go against to that environment, which is not good for our society, because our society has a mixture of lot of learned laws as well as our cultural laws also will be there. Whatever the economy, whatever the economy which has been developed, which was invented by our society, our people only. So what we have to do is, when we were choosing any new technology or when we were developing any new things, we have to be think about that whether this will impact in our environment as well as society or not. That we need to take up into our first point. So what we have to do is understanding the environment and appreciating the social challenges in making it happen. For example, for a small example, what I'm trying to say is drive the materials efficiency. This is one concept. So how to drive the material efficiently? For example, one statement I'm going to coin, then you can understood that 600 tons of materials are used to make 60 tons of products, of which 6 tons of product only, which is going to be used for after 6 months. Will it make a sense? So definitely it won't. So that is where now the industrialization completely it is moving towards to that direction only. So now it is our time. It is our time. We have to change our approach into a different dimensions. That is what it is not about what we are doing right now. So what not to be done. So what is bad to the society? What is bad to the environment? That we need to understand. If you make a plot, if you make a relationship between what is an impact of our society as well as the environment with what is our quality of our life. So the quality of our life, we can split up into three scales. One is what is a basic need, and to improve our quality of life. Third one is a luxury. What not to be done is impacting our society to create a luxury things, which is completely bad to our society. That we need to avoid. That is where the industry has to look into it. So according to that, the policy has to make it so that we can able to protect our resources, so that we can able to move towards to the sustainable future society also. This is the point I would like to mention.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir Santana sir, can you add on to Ganesh Kumar, sir? Yeah, 1 minute.
Good morning, all
yes,
of you,
sir.
on this day of. Good morning, all of you, on this Independence Day. I thank KPR Institute for providing me an opportunity to take part in this panel discussion. Sustainable development is to provide resources not only for the present generation, but it should be without any compromising the need for the future generation. In that aspect, as my previous speakers told, there are three factors involved here: economy, society, and environment. We can rename it as profit, people, and planet. So we have to see in the whole concept. Here, I am taking the land resources particularly. And this is the right time you have to think of it, because already a heavy downpour in the Western Ghats as well as in the northern region. We can see in the videos or in the TV channels, the water is coming with muddy water. It is with erosion of the soil and taking the water. So here I want to give you a data. For example, for the formation of 1 inch of topsoil, it takes nearly 300 to 1,000 years for making 1 inch of topsoil. But a single day heavy rainfall, in most of the cases, the annual rainfall, 1/3 of annual rainfall falls in a single day. That is the reason for a heavy downpour, which washes all this soil. So already in the Indian condition, our geographical area is 328 million hectares, in which nearly 53.3%, that is 175 million hectares of land, is already degraded. They are severely eroded. So in that case, we have to see annual erosion rate is around 2.2 tons per acre, whereas in the Western Ghats, as well as in the Himalayan regions, because of the heavy rainfall, the rate goes up to 8.8 tons per acre. Instead of 2.2, it is 4 times that one. But it cannot be replenished. It is not a renewable energy. It is not a renewable one, because once the soil is lost, means ever lost. The formation takes nearly 300 to 1,000 years. That's why we could see the barren lands, vast of barren lands in Tamil Nadu. And if you see 1 millimeter of topsoil is each year lost because of this way. And per capita land availability, if you see in India during independence, it was 0.33 hectare per person. Now it is in 2000, it is around 0.15, and in the case of Tamil Nadu, even it is less, 0.08. So is there any solution? Yes, definitely. Already technologies are there. The major thing is land capability classification. Use of the land according to its classification. Already the technologies and various soil conservation programs given under each classification. What are to be taken up? For example, there should be some restriction. Even in that case, what I want to point out is Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, we call it as a pollution control board, whereas in US, if you see, that is called Environmental Protection Agency. Okay. Here it is control, we say, there it is protection. That is Environment Protection Agency. Like that, here we have to protect. For that one, we have to find out the land use pattern. Accordingly, we have to use, there should be some restriction. Already some laws are there. For example, when you want to convert a wetland into an urban area, then you have to get the permission from the district collector. Like that, there are regulations, but we forego and we use the land without any sincere cause for the erosion happening in that land. So with that, the next resource is the water availability, as pointed out by my previous speakers. Water availability is also getting down. For example, in 1951, the water availability was around 5,177 meter cube, whereas in 2000, it reduced to 1,820 meter. Now it is even less. They are projecting in 2025, it will be less than 1,000 meter cube per person per day. So in that case, Tamil Nadu is already only 750 meter cube per person. So in that case, we are already in the scarcity area. So what we now need, there are two things what our speakers already talked about: development, environment. But the thing is, both the things has to be taken care of. In the case of sustainability, we should have a holistic approach, in my opinion. Not only think individually for the development, or not only individually think for the environment. You have to have a holistic approach in which way the land as well as the water resources, because these two are the major resources useful for agriculture, and without agriculture we cannot produce the food production. And according to the UN FAO, the world production has to be increased by 70% to meet the growing population in the year 2050. In 2050, if you want to meet the global population, then we have to increase the present yield by 70%. So for that matter, we cannot go. Already the answer is given by our Vice Chancellor. If you see the irrigation aspects, he clearly pointed out the land is limited, we have to increase, but you cannot increase the amount of water. So with the less water, how best we can use? So if at all in future, if we say about irrigation, for example, most of the our home wares like the ammi or the grinder, nowadays everything is replaced by the electronic gadgets. The same way, in future generation, they will know about only micro irrigation. If at all you talk about irrigation, they will see only micro irrigation, there will not be any flooding. So that way, the water can be conserved. In the same way, by using the land capability classification, we can conserve the soil. So if we are meeting these two, then we can optimize the land use for urban as well as industrial use. And the water sector also, presently 75% of the water was consumed by agriculture sector. Nowadays, because of the increase in the industries as well as from the population increase, the need for domestic use, the water available for agriculture will be automatically reduced. In that case, we cannot import the food because our population is huge. So that's why we should have a sustainable agriculture. And as pointed out by Mahatma Gandhi ji, there is plenty of resources available for the man's need, not for his greed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was so great to end up with that Mahatma Gandhi quote. And I have here the next panelist who is here, Dr. Muhammad Ramzan. And I request Muhammad Ramzan to say the key factors of sustainability, being a mechanical engineer. Muhammad Ramzan.
Hello.
Yes. Please continue.
Thank you, Dr. Akila, for inviting me. Thank you, KPRIT. First of all, I wish Independence Day, 73rd Independence Day to all the participants. Then I would like to extend what Ganesh Kumar was telling. The three factors of sustainability, that is social, environmental, and economical. Just I would like to extend one more thing. On the part of all these three, just we have to optimize the weightage to be given to each factor. For example, if you're talking about economy, then weightage is given to the environmental part. There are some organization, various organizations, which are going for environmental saving, sustainability, like that, sustainability of environment. Similarly, some social part of this, such as use of renewable and non-renewable. But on the part of economic, such as industrialization, what I've gone through, most of the speakers have stressed on the part of agriculture and effect on agriculture of this industrialization. So that is the major problem, I think, because as industrialization is going and it is extending, it is spreading, then it is unbalanced spread, and we are actually disturbing the nature balance. Due to unbalancing of the nature, we are paying the tax in the form of floods, in the form of barren land, and in other environmental and natural calamities. So my stress is on optimization and optimum balance of stress and resources to be applied for sustainability. We are concentrating on environmental issues, but we are not concentrating on unplanned industries and unplanned industrial spreading, because most of the effect on environment and agriculture is due to unplanned industrialization. As some of the speaker was telling regarding the deforestation. So deforestation is also one of the major cause of degradation of agriculture, then degradation of environment, then we can say the greenhouse effect also. So all these are due to unequal or unoptimum, non-optimum stress to the various factors of sustainability. So major concern is industrialization, in my opinion. There should be some laws. There should be some laws which govern the spread of industrialization, and there should be stress on sustainable parts. For example, as a source of energy, we should use so we should stress, we should concentrate. Yeah, we should concentrate on optimum balance for the factors of sustainability. That is my opinion.
Okay, thank you so much, Muhammad Ramzan, for joining us and telling. And another important question which I want to put across the table, whoever interested can add upon to the question. How should the use of non-renewable natural resources be reduced so that sustainable ecological development is possible? because plastic and other things, it is going on a faster rate now, whether we like or not. So how the non-renewable natural resources be reduced to increase sustainable natural resources? Can we have something from Devasenadipati sir? One minute. Okay. Can you please unmute, sir? Devasenadipati sir? Please unmute and unmute. Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yeah, I will focus only one point. With regard to the tillage, what we are doing in agriculture, we are using the fossil fuels, namely the petroleum products. But the principal of Adiyaman Engineering College was telling that we are using more of the non-renewable energy sources and burning of the crop residues, especially in the Indo-Gangetic plains. Now, we have a modern method of cultivation called as the conservation agriculture, in which the tillage is reduced. We don't need a tillage of 3-4 plowings for a small seed to develop, to put forth its seedling. So we have the concepts of the minimal tillage, then the zero tillage, and so many things are also there. With the help of the conservation tillage, we can conserve a lot of the fossil fuel energy that is otherwise burned to the atmosphere and releasing or damaging the environment. So we can trace this area and reduce the fossil fuels, which is non-renewable.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Rangasamy sir, can you add on this plastic pollution and how to go about?
So, see, it goes without saying the plastic pollution, pollutes the environment. So, and also it, most of our underground sewerage networks in the town, in the cities, it is mainly, clogged due to this plastic waste. So it causes the, a very big problem of underground drainage works. And again, the burning of these plastics will definitely add to the, global warming, greenhouse gases, so thereby global warming. So all these detrimental effects used to be, reduced by reduced use of these plastics. So that is the, goes without saying, unless we do that, it will be very difficult to conserve the, atmosphere, very difficult to conserve the environment, so on. So the sustainability of agriculture. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And Ashokan sir, can you light upon e-waste? See, electronic waste has become a great topic today. So can you say something on that?
Can I have one point?
Yes, madam. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can I highlight something regarding plastic culture? There is already research is going on, madam, in the Central Institute of Plastic Culture. They try to make biodegradable plastics. By that way, it will be degradable. That is one thing. And the already used plastics, they were using for road formation like that. By identifying the alternate uses for that used plastic, as well as introducing the biodegradable plastics, we can control these plastics pollution.
Yeah. I think that Tyagarajar College of Engineering, our professor has done something with used plastic road, and they have done a great research on that. But I don't know whether it has.
Now it is being implemented, and I could read in the newspaper in some area in the northern North India, they have used it for a kilometer of roads.
Yeah. In European countries, it has become a practice. They have started using it, but India, I think it is in the initial stages. Maybe it can come up. Thank you for sharing that, Ashokan sir. Can you comment on electronic waste?
Thank you, madam. Actually, it's a major challenge for sustainable development in e-waste. Actually, as per recent data, 40 million tons of e-waste is generated every year but only 27% of e-waste is recycled. And also the rate of e-waste generation is and the hazardous chemical components of e-waste have potential adverse impacts on our ecosystems, human health if not managed properly. Particularly the e-waste typically consists of metals, plastics, CRTs, printed circuit boards, cables and so on. So suppose if you recycle this e-waste means definitely you will get the valuable metals such as copper, silver, gold, platinum. Okay, that metals we can recover the natural resources. As already told, the main reason for e-waste generation is the lifespan of the electronics items are now reduced. The earlier 15 years, 20 years back, if any television, anything is fault means you will send it to service center, you will get back. But currently what is happening, any mobile, any small fault means we will throw it away. We are going for the new one. So that is mainly because of the new innovative products and offers, and also the life cycle of the products are reduced. So the main solution may be the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. So that is using this concept, we can reduce the e-waste.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So now we'll have a small bite on IGEN Nobel Laureate lecture series. Sumitra madam, can you help me on this?
The Institution of Green Engineers is conducting the biggest digital conference on August 25th, 2020. Do you know what it is? It is on sustainable agriculture by a great personality in the globe who is a Nobel laureate achiever. He is none other than Sir Richard Roberts. So I'm waiting for the great event. You also wait. This is Dr. Akila, Principal, KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology, Coimbatore.
Thank you. So now we have come up to the end of the session, and a great question I have with me for the entire panel. What will be our vision or our perception towards sustainability after COVID-19? Because this COVID-19 has given many lessons for us. For example, we need very few things for living. Essentials, essential commodities, it's food, maybe with water and food and medicine. These are the 3 essential commodities we have been speaking throughout this COVID-19, and we were able to survive with only these 3 things for the past maybe for a few 1.5 months under lockdown. So how our our means the society will look on natural resources post COVID-19? Will there be any improvement, or we will forget everything after corona and we'll have our own lifestyle? So this is a big question mark to all of you. So anybody is interested to answer this interesting question, please go ahead.
Sometime the impact may be there, madam, for another few months. Then the people will resort back to the original thinking.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji said, if you compare with the April, May, so slightly July and August, situation is changing. People are purchasing unwanted things. So like this, it's slowly moving to the other side. I think,
okay.
But the COVID have some, we learned some lessons from COVID, but we should keep in mind the lessons.
Okay. Okay.
Madam, people will have a tendency of forgetting everything. That is the biggest disease. So definitely they will back to again. I think there will be some impact will be there definitely, because it is a life-threatening impact is there. So definitely there will be an impact is there, but after a due course of period, maybe a 1 year or 2 years of period, definitely people will forget the things. They will back to their pavilion kind of things.
Pavilion. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
There
read,
was another.
we
Yes,
read
sir.
about
Yes.
the
As
air
a-
pollution, reduction in air pollution.
Okay.
But we followed the good food habits. That is also one of the major point we learned.
Okay. Okay. Rangasamy sir.
Yeah, in my mind, I think once the vaccine or some medicines come, everything, the situation will be back to square one. So people are waiting for that only. That's it.
It's quite natural.
No, I wish everybody's. I'm also like have everybody's wish, but even we, as Rangasamy said, we need not wait for the vaccine to come. We will wait and see after 17th what will happen in Tamil Nadu.
That's an interesting point to note.
This is what everyone is probably good or bad. They are shouting, and then barring maybe the common transport, and then the opening of cinema theaters and big malls and AC shops. You can go to the city. You see everything is normal. So we have to really wait and see. And by nature, we have everything to be forgotten in some days. So maybe people will forget the things and then go like that. But nature will take its own course.
Yes, yes. I hope that people like us can be more responsible, at least in our family and our family friends. We can tell them what is sustainability or what we need and what we do not, so that we can save something for the future generation. So we have come to the end of our panel session, and on behalf of Institution of Green Engineers and being the Secretary of Institution of Green Engineers, I thank all the panelists here, and let me say one by one. And first we had Ranganath sir on the panel discussion, and he had said about agriculture production is increased, but we also have to think about depletion. Farmers need help in water supply, seedling, and quality pesticides. And he had quoted some of the things which is happening good in Sikkim and Ladakh. And we have to make a policy for helping the farmers. And it was counterparted by many of our panelists here that it is policies side which was told by Ranganath sir. And Deva Senadipati sir has said three things: profitable agriculture, sustainable agriculture, and conservation agriculture, which we were not aware of as a layman. And zero tillage is another point which was pointed out by Deva Senadipati sir, which has to be noted. And Ganesh Kumar sir was rightly pointing out that he had done some project and research in TNEU Madurai, and which had given 70% of water conservation, which is a good attempt they have taken from their project. And I hope that this can continue beyond patenting, so that they can go for technology transfer or commercialization, so that the society can be more helped by that project. And Kalidasan sir, he was so furious enough to tell many things, and sustainable development, non-renewable energy should be reduced, and they improve the ecosystem. And he told he shared many things about human animal conflict in the forest area, and forest has to be conserved, and land outside forest is equally important as the forest. So that was great by Kalidasan sir. And Ashokan sir, without compromising anything, we have to take up urbanization, and we have to take care of our ecosystem. At the same time, we have to do something for our technology side also. And he gave insights about e-waste, and the worst part is 27% only can be recycled. So that is a great concern. And hazardous waste also, we have to think about it. And Ganesh Kumar was also pointing out three basic elements on environment, economy, and society. and the most probably the equality of what it can be done. And we had Sandana Bose sir in telling about land resources, and we are shocked, sir, to know that for 1 inch of topsoil, it takes so many years to form that, and in one Munar rainfall, all are washed away. So it's really because we don't know about all these things. So these kind of awareness and sessions are needed for general public also. And good thing what he pointed out was Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board and US Environmental Protection. So that gives a grave concern that we people have to protect our environment rather than controlling things. Prevention is better than cure. So that kind of approach is needed, and biodegradable plastic has to be increased in India. And one word by Sandana Bose for micro irrigation. Micro irrigation is what our future generation will remember, and the effective approach of sustainability is very much needed. And Ramzan Dr. Muhammad Ramzan gave an insight on how to optimize what Ganesh Kumar sir told about the 3 things: economy, environment, and society, and distributing the nature. We should not disturb the nature, and due to our unplanned industrialization, we actually disturb our ecosystem. And lastly, our Ramasamy sir gave a wide statistics of how we have traveled from the independence 1947 till 74 years, what we have done in our agricultural lands, and how far we are competent with the other countries. So that was a great insights on sustainability, on natural resources. So we have covered water, land, biodiversity, ecosystem, climate change, and so many things have been discussed on this today with the great panelists here. So I thank Ramasamy sir, Rangasamy sir, Ashokan sir, Muhammad Ramzan sir, Ganesh Kumar sir, Devasenapati sir, Sandana Bose sir, Kalidasan sir, and Ranganath sir for joining hands with the Institution of Green Engineers and KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology. We hope that we'll join hands to the future forthcoming event, IGEN Nobel Laureate lecture series on August 25th, because that session is being live on YouTube. Also, the same kind of meeting will be there, and even kids are waiting for that event for Richard Roberts to say something about genetic modeling and sustainable agriculture. I thank everyone on behalf of Institution of Green Engineers and the powerful team who is ready for the Nobel lecture series. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, I request the KPR team to stop the live, ma'am, because it is there only.
Okay. Okay. May I request Sumitra madam to